Hare Krishna, Prabhujis and Matajis. Thank you for joining. We are in the Bhagavad Gita summary study program. We are in the last chapter today. My name is Patita Pavana Balaram Das. I am from the Bhakti Riksha team. We will get started with chapter 18. I'll share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we are in the summary study, and this chapter is the longest chapter. Chapter 2 is the second longest. This has 78 verses. We Especially this chapter we cannot cover in one class, and this is like very much into Gnana Yoga. There's a lot of details in this chapter. If anyone wants any has any like doubts or questions about it, they can also read this chapter. That Krishna explains a lot of things. I got these slides from the team, and I also tried to add a few more slides so to make it more as much information as possible. But Bhagavad Gita cannot be understood in like 18 classes. It's a lifelong journey. It's not only to understand, it's also to apply. And unless we acquire the knowledge and constantly apply, we quickly will forget. So we have to learn and we have to apply, and then we will see the benefit of Bhagavad Gita that Bhagavad Gita brings into our lives. So we have been saying any spiritual topics, we have to start with a few mantras, pranam mantras or Mangalacharan prayers. The mantras that we say are like directed towards the people I'm showing here. So who I'm circling is Srila Prabhupada. He's the founder Acharya of ISKCON. His spiritual master is His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. His spiritual master is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and uh, his spiritual master is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is also happens to be the son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And they both spiritual master is Jagannath Das Babaji, and these are the six Goswamis who are in Vrindavan. And when we say the Panchatattva Mahamantra, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, he is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He came with his associates, who is Nityananda Prabhu, is Balaram, and Advaita Acharya, he is Mahavishnu and Sadashiva, taken incarnation in one body. He is Gadadhar Pandit, he is incarnation of Radharani, and then Srivas Thakur, he is incarnation of Narada. And Radha Krishna, you all know, and with the Ashtasakis. These are the deities from Mayapur. Very beautiful deities and very attractive. So we'll say prayers so that we can keep them in mind and say the prayers. So please, all of you can unmute and say along with me. We will say it together. Om
Om
Agnanatimirandasya
Agnanatimirandasya
Gnananjanashalakaya
Gnananjanashalakaya
Chakshurunmilitam
Chakshurunmilitam
Yena
Yena
Tasmai
Tasmai
Shri
Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha
Namo
Namo
Vishnupadaya
Vishnupadaya
Krishna
Prasthaya
Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate
Srimate
Bhakti
Bhakti
Vedanta
Vedanta Swamin
Swamin
Iti
Iti Namine
Namine Namaste
Namaste
Saraswate
Saraswate
Deve
Gauravani
Gauravani
Pracharine
Pracharine
Nirvishesha
Nirvishesha
Shunyavadi
Sunyavadi
Paschatya
Paschatya
Desatarini
Desatarini
Jai Shri Krishna
Jai Sri
Chaitanya
Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara Srivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaurabhakta
Gaurabhakta Vrinda
Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Oh, it's so ecstatic, everyone saying together. So nice. Thank you. We are dedicating this program to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are inspired to do this program by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He is a member of GBC and he is a spiritual master. He is one of the senior members of ISKCON. We'll glorify Gita by reading from the Sri Vaishnava Tantra Sara. Jayate Satatam Sakhyam
Jayate Satatam
जयति
Sakyam
सततं सख्यं
Sarva Jiva Ganai Saha
Sarvajiva Ganai
सर्वजीवगणैः सह
Saha
Prarabdham Bunjato Vapi
प्रारब्धं
Prarabdham Bhunjato
भुञ्जति
Vapi
वापि
Gītābhyāsa Ratasya Cha.
Gītābhyāsa
गीताभ्यासरतस्य च
Ratasya Cha.
Anyone wants to read the translation?
A person who is devoted to studying Gita acquires a friendly disposition to all living beings despite his accruing the reactions of his previous actions in this world.
Jai, thank you, Kartikeya Prabhu. So, what we can understand is anyone who reads Bhagavad Gita automatically becomes friendly to other people. That quality automatically does. People automatically start loving. Why? Because we read um, Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati means I am residing in everyone's heart. And when we dedicate our time to Krishna, to Bhagavad Gita, to reading the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna becomes happy to us. And Krishna being in the heart of everyone, when they meet, they get that feeling that that this person is very friendly. Even though we have been doing so many sinful reactions, which make us not so um, friendly with other living beings. The moment we start reading Bhagavad Gita, we automatically become friendly. And especially in this Kali Yuga, where it's the age of quarrel, there is small reasons we start quarreling. But when we read Bhagavad Gita, we become friendly to others. Um, so there are so many benefits, not just spiritual, but even from the material world. So we'll do a quick recap of chapter 17. Anyone remembers the name of the chapter?
the divisions of faith.
Jai, three times Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
So, from the chapter 16, we saw that Krishna is concluding saying that there are two kinds of beings. One is the divine and the demoniac. The divine people have complete faith in the Supreme Lord and follow the rules and regulations mentioned in the scriptures. On the other hand, the demonic people have no faith at all and completely they go against the rules and regulations of the scriptures. So it is very easy concept, black and white. One divine, they have full faith in the Lord and they strictly follow the scriptures. The demoniac, they don't have any faith. They go against the scriptures. Then Arjuna posed a question in chapter 17. What did he say? Oh Krishna, what about the gray area in between the black and white? Which means that those who do not follow the principles of scripture and but they worship according to their imagination, meaning why they do with their own imagination, they are really not sure. They are ignorant of the scripture injections. If somebody is full versed, well versed with the scriptures, they know that it is the right thing to do. What is the right thing to do? So they will follow that. If they still don't follow that, they are obviously demoniac. But there are a lot of people who don't know what the scriptures are telling. So whether they don't know whether it is the right thing to do or wrong thing to do, because they don't know what the scriptural injunctions are. Their faith is in the in between. Whether is it real faith or is it faith in the right place or faith in the wrong place is what Arjuna is asking. Then what does Krishna say? Faith is also categorized, since this is in the material world. Everything is categorized based on the three modes of material nature, and faith is subclassified into one who based on who one worships, what food one eats, austerities and penances, sacrifices and charitable activities. So I will skim through this very quickly because we have 18 chapters, is a long one. Worship is mode of goodness, they worship the demigods. Mode of passion, they worship the demons or the people who are atheistic and have the demoniac qualities, which means they go against the scriptures knowingly also. And mode of ignorance is the people who do like black magic. They worship the ghosts and spirit for quick powers, which cause misery to others.
Yeah,
Food we read.
Prabhuji, actually, if you can actually go to 18th chapter, because you said it's a long chapter. I mean, this is a repetition, if you don't mind.
Yes, it is a repetition, but we just have to summarize it because it is a repetition for us. But the reason I'm doing this repetition is if we discuss something and if we recollect the same thing within 24 hours, it stays there for 1 week. And if we recollect again for 1 week, it stays for 1 month. If we recollect again within 1 month, it stays for 6 months. So that is a scientific process. That's why I'm putting some effort in recollecting all those important points again. So at least you will remember for 7 more days. You already might be knowing, but the new devotees who are joining, it will be helpful.
Sure.
Yes. So from the food standpoint, we have to eat the food that is juicy, wholesome, fatty, which is all the vegetarian food. And from the passion standpoint, it is vegetarian, but on the other hand, it is very sour, spicy, too hot, too burning like that. And from the ignorance standpoint, all the non-vegetarian food and food that is decomposed has been there for a long time, all those things. And they have the different effects, which the goodness will increase our duration of life. Passion will cause distress. On the other hand, ignorance will make us more lazy and dull. Austerities of the body is respecting our elders, spiritual master, supreme lord. And austerity of the speech is reciting the Vedic scriptures and speaking only the things that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial. Austerity of the mind is being simple, having gravity of the situation and self-control, purification of existence. And penance means without expecting any results is goodness. By doing with pride is passion. Out of foolishness, not knowing whether right thing to do or wrong thing to do is ignorance. And then sacrifice is performing in goodness is as a matter of duty. And if it is done for material benefit or for the sake of pride, it is passion. And any sacrifice that is done without any regard to the scriptures or without distribution of prasadam, without chanting, without faith, without remuneration to priest is ignorance. And finally, the charity is someone who is doing it as a matter of duty without any expectation in return to proper place and time to a worthy person. Passion means there is always an expectation in return. Sometimes could be pride also or name, fame, desiring results. Means like thinking that I will get good punya if I do this, or in a grudging mode. And then ignorance is it is done in an impure place and improper time to impure. And finally, Krishna is saying Om Tat Sat. Anything, if we start by saying these three, then it is bound to be successful. But it is also important that we do these activities which are as per the scriptures. And if we do that, the full benefit will come. So, chapter 18 is the conclusion, which is how can the perfection be achieved in renunciation. And Krishna is giving so much details to Arjuna, and this is the concluding chapter. So all that Arjuna is taking, and he will Krishna will also say one last thing to Arjuna that before the battle starts, we'll see how that is very applicable to us. And Krishna is continuing in the modes of material nature for the different aspects. His opinion he is sharing. What he is sharing is of all the activities all the activities that he mentioned should be performed without any attachment or any expectation in results. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. That is my final opinion. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, should I renounce or should I not renounce? Finally, he's asking. Then Krishna is saying same thing he said in chapter 2 and 3. There is nobody in this world who cannot uh, who will be there without working. So work has to be done, but the renunciation has to be performed. But the renunciation means renunciation in the mind, not in the physical renunciation. Means you have to work. The renunciation in the mind means not expecting any result and doing as a matter of duty. This is the theme in all the things that we are going to discuss or the things that we discussed in the past. If you want to progress in self-realization, do any duty that you are doing, whether it is raising your kids, dealing with your friends, taking care of your parents, working for your boss in the company. Do it as a duty. Since they are giving you, paying you for 8 hours, work those 8 hours. Don't have to stress too hard on working 24 or like 12 hours, 14 hours like that. And take care of the and that give that fullest to your those 8 hours. Don't use that to um, go with the distractions and all. And if you're taking care of the kids, do it as a matter of duty with full attention. Don't think if you took it, brought your kids into this world, you took up a project which is like 20 to 25 years. You cannot skip that and leave that responsibility to someone else like that. You have to do your duty. And if you're taking care of your friends, we need to make sure that we have friendly relationship with them. Our parents, they have brought us to this point. We can't just leave them. And um, the fact that we came to this state is their struggles only. We just there could be some differences, but all those have to be. And actually, you start chanting, and you will see the difference. You will be loving to everyone, and everybody will starts loving you. You will take care of your parents even if there are any differences, and you will everybody will start understanding with each other so well. But the thing is, all these scriptural injunctions will come into you when you start this process of devotional service. It's you don't have to force them. You will see naturally they all come, and you will be doing duty as work as a matter of duty, and you will not get associated with the results, whether you get success or failure. You something causes happiness, something causes misery, you don't even start worrying about it. And same thing with renunciation. We have to perform the work as a matter of duty because it is supposed to be done. And then there is it and renunciation, and the person renounces all material association without attachment to fruits. But when it comes to passion, the simple litmus test is they want to enjoy the results. We all want to enjoy the work we did, and we want to take the results. And what it brings is, um, yeah. So sometimes in the mode of passion, what they do is they artificially renounce. We have so many dreams. We start work, but the moment there is some discomfort, we stop it. So that is the passion. And the ignorance is we just give up the work which is supposed to be done out of illusion, saying that, oh, I don't want to do it, or I'm not interested in doing it. All those things. I want to do this something else which is very much pleasurable, and there is all those things that will take us away from the path of spiritual realization. And in terms of knowledge, knowledge is also categorized into three. This is the knowledge in the material world that is categorized. And what is that knowledge? If we see the Supreme Lord in everyone, means a person who can see that the Supreme Lord resides in everyone's heart, that person's knowledge is in the mode of goodness. If a person sees things differently, that he says, oh, this person is an Indian, this person is an American, this is a Chinese, this is a short person, this is a tall person, this is fat, this is thin. They are seeing the bodily aspect of it only, not they are seeing different bodies that they are of the living entity, but they are not seeing the soul within. That is passion. Um, and other person is not even worried about it. They are only attached to the work in all and all. They don't even uh, do any kind of assessment in terms of knowledge, why we are living in this world, what is the purpose of life, and and their knowledge of truth is very meager, and they are in the mode of ignorance. So they are in the very much bodily concept of life. That is basically Krishna is revising the confidential knowledge, which is the guhyam. We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. So we should see the the soul within everyone's heart. And similarly, Krishna says there are three things that are there, which is knowledge, action, and performer of action. We discussed knowledge. The next one is action. Action in the mode of goodness is always regulated. Same theme. So I'm skipping through. There are other important verses. Performed without attachment, without love or hatred. There should not be any ishtadvesha, like ichadvesha means any action should be done without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results. And for passion, the work is action is performed with great effort. So sometimes we put so much effort into the things that needs to be getting done, and that too much effort, yeah, could give us results, but sometimes could may not give us a result. But that much effort is not required. We just have to um, take what is it is mentioned in the Isha Upanishad that we have to everyone is given a quota, and we have to be satisfied with the quota that we have, and we should not strive to acquire more and more. The greed should be avoided. And they seek for sense gratification and enacted on the mode of false ego. And action performed in ignorance is out of illusion only, because it is done against the scriptural injunctions, and there is no concern for whether this action will cause bind me to this material world, or will it cause misery to the living entities, or distress to other living entities. Am I being violent with this action? No, there is no concern for that. That is in the mode of ignorance. And performer, who is the performer? Performer also can be categorized into three modes. A performer who does as a matter of duty, without false ego, with a great determination and enthusiasm, without wavering in success and failure. So these performers are top class, where when they start work, they don't worry about whether it is success or failure, whether even if they face any hardships, they continue. But those whom they made of passion, they are attached to the work and fruits. They desire only the results of those work. They are always envious, impure. So from reading all these definitions, right, we can see that most of us are all in the mode of passion only. But yeah, there are some people who are in the mode of ignorance. But again, like we have to keep recollecting. There, it's not like a stamp that we put on this person. This person is in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. These three modes are always fighting for dominance within each of us. Sometimes a person could be 60% passion, 10% ignorant, and remaining 30% passion, ignorance, or yeah, passion, like that. There could be different variations, and that's also not strict, where it can keep varying up and down. So sometimes we feel very much inclined towards doing devotional service or some self-realization. Sometimes we feel very lethargic. Sometimes we feel that I have to acquire so much money and save, like that. So there are so many things. And Krishna is going to say what is that kind of understanding that we all should have. And he's also classifying them into the three modes. If someone has an understanding that they know what is supposed to be done, what is not supposed to be done, what is supposed to be feared and what is not supposed to be feared, what causes binding and what causes liberation, then that person's understanding is in the mode of goodness. So what is supposed to be done, dharma is supposed to be done, means what is our duty. And what is not supposed to be done, adharma should be left off. What is supposed to be feared, that, oh, if I don't take up the path of self-realization, there is high chance that I will be stuck in this material world, and I will be going through this higher planets and lower planets, this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, means birth, death, old age, and disease, and there is no freedom. And what is not supposed to be feared, that we don't have to fear about, that we will see, Krishna will say that once we come to the point of surrender, we will not fear about anything. We should not be fearing about the path of the uh, the difficulties that would come, because those are only tests that would come or make us ready for the liberation. What is causes binding? Same thing. Anybody who works in the mode of passion will cause binding. Anybody who works in the mode of goodness and will cause liberation. And what is that understanding that is in the mode of passion? They cannot distinguish between what is religion and irreligion, what is dharma and adharma. They their action should be done. So what action should be done and what action should be avoided. Similarly, ignorance is what is considered. They take exactly opposite. So the understanding in goodness, they know what is religion, what is religion. Passion, they don't know what is religion, what is religion. Ignorance, they flip it. They say what is irreligion, they follow. What is adharma, they follow as a religion. What is dharma, they follow as irreligion. Like don't want to comment about some religions, but some religions again or take some of the adharmic concepts and put them as dharma concepts. So they are under the illusion of darkness. They strive always to go in the wrong direction. There is so much effort to do the wrong things in this aspect. And finally, the determination. Remember, Krishna said the people who are in a mode of goodness, they are very much determined. They have a lot of determination. So what is that determination also is mentioned here. That determination which is unbreakable and sustained by the yoga practice, which controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses. So unbreakable means whatever be the obstacles that are coming, the determination, if someone has that, they continue that. And that should be the determination we should all have. That should be the determination we should all have when taking up any of the activities that will lead us to success, both in the material world and spiritual world. Passion means one who holds fast the fruitive actions and fruitive results in religion. Yeah. So, although Vedas recommended dharma, artha, kama, moksha, moksha is the one that will take us in the goodness. But the three of the four purusharthas, right? Dharma, artha, kama. Even if somebody is operating in those three only without the concern for religion, moksha, then they are in the mode of passion. And what we are doing the dharma for getting more economic development, artha, and then using that artha to satisfy our senses. So those things are in the mode of passion. We should use religion to take us towards moksha. But if we use religion for economic development and sense gratification, like going to the temple, offering like, so God, please give me this, I'll give you 100 coconuts, like that, then that is in the mode of passion only. But if we are using the dharma to uh, go nearer towards the Supreme Lord, then that is in the mode of goodness. And what is the determination, the mode of passion? There is no activity. Last chapter को check. So there is no activity. It is only basically just a dreaming stage and fearfulness. They don't even start activity, thinking that, oh, this work has so much troubles or obstacles might come, and they will not start any activity. They're always lamenting, morose, and they're in illusion. They keep on dreaming. People have a lot of dreams, but nobody acts. The people who are just dreaming or in their determination is in the mode of ignorance. Okay, there is one more, the last one, which is happiness. So we are all striving for happiness. So what is that happiness? Let's say we all do these activities in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, and they yield different results. So what is that happiness which comes in the mode of goodness? Which might be appearing as poison in the beginning, but it is just like nectar. So all these things that we are saying, sit and read Bhagavad Gita, do chanting, it will be initially very hard. Of course, these are easy activities, but still, because our mind is so much attached to this material desires from millions and millions of lifetimes, it is very hard to bend the mind. So it appears to be poison in the beginning, but then it will give us the nectar, right, which is the liberation at the end, which awakens one to self-realization. That happiness is what we have to seek for. In the mode of passion, it is derived from sense objects. So whatever effort we get, that much happiness we get. If we want to if we go to a club, then we get some happiness, and if we come back, the happiness is gone. And then it appears as nectar at first, but it is only poison in the end. Why? Because we are um, it is giving material pleasures, but we don't realize that it is going to bind us further and further. It will take us, and if we it will take us into the it will bind us more and more into the material world, so we'll not be able to get out, and that's why it is poison in the end, because we are stuck here. And the happiness in the mode of ignorance is completely blind to self-realization. It is delusion from beginning to the end, because people are intoxicated, and it is from the beginning only it is misery, and after intoxication again there will be misery while waking up. And somebody oversleeps, it will be very much they get headache, and it is everything that is done in the mode of ignorance has no happiness in the beginning or in the end also. If we cause misery to others, I don't know how people will happy, but yeah, in the mode of ignorance they think they are happy, but it is not. It is delusional only, that kind of happiness. Now, okay. So now coming to the more confidential knowledge. So we read so far the confidential knowledge, which is we are not the body, we are the soul. But now let's read the more confidential knowledge that Krishna is sharing. Ishvara sarva bhutanam
ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां
hriddeshe arjuna tishtati
हृद्देशे
हृदये
अर्जुन
अर्जुन
तिष्ठति
तिष्ठते
brahmayan sarva bhutani
भ्रामयन्
सर्वभूतानि
सर्वभूतानि
यन्त्रारूढानि मायया
यन्त्रारूढानि मायया
तमेव शरणं गच्छ
तमेव शरणं गच्छ
सर्वभावेन भारत
सर्वभावेन भारत
तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं
तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं
स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्
स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्
इति ते ज्ञानमाख्यातम्
इति ते ज्ञानम् आख्यातं
गुह्याद् गुह्यतरं मया
गुह्यात् गुह्यतरं मया
विमृश्यैतद् अशेषेण
विमृश्यैतत् अशेषेण
यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु.
यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु.
Anyone wants to, one person can read one translation.
The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Jaiman, thank you. Next.
O Scion of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Thus
Thank you. Next.
Explain to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully, and then what do what you wish to do.
Jai, thank you all. So what Krishna is saying is, oh Arjuna, the same thing we have been discussing again and again, that it is the Supreme Lord sitting within the heart of every living entity, and the living entity is this is on the body, which is just like a machine made of material energy. Yantra Rudani Maya means like it's a machine made of Maya, the material energy. And Brahma and Sarva Bhutani, all these living entities are going wandering here and there within this material world again and again. And it is the Ishvara who is on every bhutas, in Sarva Bhutanam Hriddesha, in everyone's heart he is residing. And what Krishna is saying is, just surrender onto him utterly. Surrender onto him means that Paramatma who is sitting within the heart. If you surrender unto him, by his grace, you will attain transcendental peace. Peace. This goes to the same thing, chapter 5. Bhoktaram Yagnatavasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhrutam Sarvabhutanam Gnatwamam Santiruchati. If we surrender onto that Paramatma sitting within the heart, then we will get transcendental peace, and we will also attain the supreme eternal abode. And what Krishna is again saying is, Arjuna, like deliberate on what are the things I said and do what you wish to do. See, there is no force. Nobody is going to ask, and Krishna is not going to ask and say, or nobody else is going to ask and say, hey, do devotional service or surrender onto Krishna. No. If someone says that, if somebody is forcing religion onto others, they are doing it out of ignorance only. Religion should not be forced. It should come naturally. We tell this is it, this is it, this is it, and let the person decide. You can't say, if you don't follow our religion, you are eternally cast in hell. Um, that is illogical and senseless, because the Supreme Lord will not be so unkind and say that, oh, if you don't follow me, I'm going to cast eternally in hell. No. So he is the Supreme Father. And actually, he gives so much freedom. If you, some people will ask, oh, why do Hindus do idol worship? It's not idol worship, it is Murti. Murti means when they're establishing the deity in the temple, they actually do prana pratishtha, it's called, which is they invoke some mantras, they invite the supreme being into that energy of the supreme being into the deity. Yeah, if you think that there is, it's Krishna will be based, the Paramatma within your heart, he just looks at what your desires are and what your motivations are. Which means that if you want to see the deity in the murti of the temple, there will be murti in the temple, and he will reciprocate with you. If you don't want to see the murti in the temple, Krishna is not going to punish you. He will not say, hey, He's coming to the temple, but he's not looking at me in the deity, that he thinks that it's just a stone. No problem. You think it's a stone, he will not reciprocate. And some people, if they come and when they break into the temple and destroy the murti, where some of the cases we are seeing in India nowadays, Krishna will punish them? No, because they are not seeing, they are seeing, thinking it's a stone, and they are breaking it. But the problem is, remember, Krishna will tolerate any of the mischiefs that were done against him, but he will not tolerate any mischiefs done against his devotees. So, if looking at the destroyed, the things that these deities were destroyed, and if any of the devotees, pure devotees, feel sad or offended, then yes, he will not leave them. Then the people who did the mischiefs will get punished. So we have seen so many temples also. Then there could be like there will be so lot of questions that comes up. Hey, if you have if you are faith in the Supreme Lord, then if you say that Lord resides in your temples, why he was not able to protect himself when there was a lot of people from other countries attacking India in the olden days? Because it is not his responsibility to protect. It is there only to reciprocate. And if the king wants to protect the deity, he will fight for his life, and then he will protect it, and he goes back to the eternal world. And if somebody wants to escape, that's fine. And if somebody wants to attack the deity, that's fine. But after that, if and we have also seen some instances where when a pure devotee is ready to give up their life for the deity, then miracles happen, and yes, that kind of temples were indeed protected. So it all matters on how pure we are and how sincere our desires are. So these questions we all have to keep reading Bhagavad Gita, and we'll be able to answer anything and everything somebody asks about us and our follow what we are following with complete logic. Sarva guhyatamam bhuya
Tamambuya
सर्वगुह्यतमं भूया
shunu me paramam vacha
शृणु मे
Shunme
परमं
me
वच
paramam
paramam
vacha.
vacha.
istosi me dridam iti
इष्टोऽसि
Ishtosi
मे
me
Dosi me
दृढम्
dharam
इति
dradam riti.
iti.
tato vakshyami te hitam.
ततो
Tato
Tato
vakshyami
वक्ष्यामि
te
vakshyami
hitam.
ते
te tam.
हितम्
Translation, anyone?
Because
because
you,
you are my yeah go ahead.
because you are my dear friend, a very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me. It is for your benefit.
Jay, thank you, Mataji. So basically, now he is going to reveal the most confidential knowledge, which is, of course, what we read in the chapter 9 also, right? The most confidential knowledge. This chapter 18 is the conclusion, and it's so a summarization of everything that we read. So let's see what the most confidential knowledge is. Manmana bhava madbhakto
मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो
madhyaji mam namaskuru
Madhya
मद्याजी मां
Madhyajinam
नमस्कुरु
namaskuru.
namaskaro.
mame vaishyasi satyam te
मामे
Mame
वैश्यसि
vaishyasi
सत्यं ते
satyam te
pratijane priyosi me
Pratijane
प्रतिजाने
pratijane
priyosi
priyosi
प्रियोऽसि
me.
मे
sarvadharman parityajya
सर्वधर्मान्
Dharman
परित्यज्य
sarvadharman
parityaja
Mamekam Sharanam Vraja
mamekam
मामेकं
mamekam
शरणं
saranam
व्रज
sharanam
vraja.
vraja.
Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo
Aham
अहं
Aham
त्वां
tvam
tvam sarva
sarva
सर्वपापेभ्यो
papebhyo
papebhyo
Moksha Ishyami Ma Suchaha.
mokshayami
मोक्षयिष्यामि
mokshayami
मा
ma
शुचः
suchaha.
Anyone wants to? Two people can read the translation. Kalyani Mataji, you want to read? You are trying to read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend.
Next.
Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear.
Okay, thank you. So, when do anyone remembers where we read this verse? Manmana Bhava Bhakto. It was the last verse in chapter 9. And chapter 9 is the most confidential knowledge. So, this verse again comes here just to give the introduction to this the main verse where Krishna is saying the most confidential knowledge, which is always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, which is the ultimate pure devotional service, Ananya Bhakti. And how we can achieve that? if we don't have to worry about all the things that Krishna has said so far. If we just surrender on to Krishna, he shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. He said, I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Sarva dharman parichaja. Whatever dharma you have, swadharma, this dharma, that dharma, kshatriya dharma, vanapras, every dharma you have, just parichaja, just leave it, abandon. Mam ekam sharanam raja. Just only to me. Mam ekam sharanam means surrender you. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo means I will tvam sarva all your papas, sarva papa, not just one papa. Sarva dharma means all dharmas. Sarva papa. Any sinful activities that you have, sinful results that you have still pending, all those will be taken away. Moksha ishyami ma suchaha. I am going to give you that moksha. Don't worry, ma suchaha. Do not fear. So this is the promise that Krishna is giving towards the end of this chapter. That is, we can all spend so much time in karma yoga, gnana yoga. Sorry, when I say yoga, it is still devotional service. We can spend so much time in karma kanda, gnana kanda, dhyana kanda, or whatever kandas, or whatever, or even in the animalistic life. If we just take to the process of yoga, devotional service, and bhakti yoga is the easiest of all the yoga processes, then Krishna is promising that he will give moksha for us, and that for this Kali Yuga, the prescribed medicine is chanting. If we take to the chanting, then Krishna is giving his promise that he will deliver us within this lifetime itself. But what is surrender? Surrender means, Prabhupada explains in the purport by giving the reference from Haribhakta Vilasa, which says that Anukulyasya Sankalpaha
आनुकूल्यस्य
Anukulasya
सङ्कल्पः
sankalpaha yasya
Pratikulyasya Varjanam
pratikulyasya
प्रातिकूल्यस्य
varjanam
वर्जनम्
Rakshishyati Vishwaso
rakshishyatiti
रक्षिष्यतीति
vishwaso
विश्वासो
Goptrutve Varanam Tata
गोप्रत्वे
goptrutve
वर्णं
varanam
तथा
tatha
Atma Nikshepa Karpanye
atmanikshepa karpanye
आत्मनिक्षेपकार्पण्ये
Shadvida Sharana Gatihi.
षड्विधा
षड्विधा
शरणागतिः
शरणगतिः
So Shadvida means six steps of Sharanagati, which is surrender. What are those? Accepting the things that are favorable to devotional service. Pratikulyasya Vajanam, rejection of unfavorable things. Rakshishyati Vishwaso, conviction that Krishna will give protection. We should be fully convinced that Krishna is there to protect. Gopturte Varana means accepting that Krishna as the Supreme One's guardian and master. And full surrender. Atma Nikshepana means Atma Samarpana means full surrender. And finally, Karpanya means we should be very humble. One thing that Krishna will not like at all is pride. Even if we have a tinge of pride, I am greater than this other person, that's it. He will not. But if we always be humble, if we see the good qualities in everyone, thinking that we discussed about the example of the honeybee and the fly, right? If we are like the honeybee, always looking at the good qualities about others, we automatically become humble. And being humble means Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnona, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari means we should be very humble like a grass. If grass in the lawn, if somebody steps on it, it bends. Does it break? No, it again stands up. So if someone says any bad things to us, don't worry. Like it's just our body. I mean, it's easier said than done, but it comes with practice. We get so agitated if someone says, but we should be humble. Trinadapi Sanichan, Tarorapi Sahishnana, we should be more tolerant. If you see a tree, they keep throwing stones to get the fruits. If someone has so much to give, sometimes they have to face those troubles, all those from. But we have to be tolerant. And finally, Amanina Manadena. If somebody disrespects also, we should still respect them. That mood will come when we see that Krishna is sitting within the heart of everyone. If those three things are there, then we'll automatically become humble. Let's see what Prabhupada is saying as a passage of this. Anyone wants to
Prabhuji,
read this?
humility it is showing, right? Humble or humility? Sixth one, Prabhuji.
Yeah, same. Humble or humility means the same.
Oh,
Being humble means being humility.
oh, okay. I thought it's different meaning.
Yeah, in our context, it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone wants to read the purport?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, go ahead.
According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in, in the social order, but if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion and purificatory processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation in the mystic yoga system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progresses at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. Hare
Jai,
Krishna.
thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, if you see, we can do our various dharmas, but if those dharmas, any activities that we are doing, doesn't take us towards the Supreme Lord, what is the point of that doing those activities? And yeah, anything that does not take us to the Krishna consciousness should be avoided. And we should be confident that Krishna will protect all from all difficulties. There, I think there was a question that came up. Should we rely on our own effort? No, because then that doesn't come under surrender. The devotees are always looking for surrender. If Krishna is saying Aham Bija Pradapita, I am the seed giving father. If a child comes and surrenders or just say, Mom, Dad, I need your help, the dad will not think as a burden. They will immediately be very happy to help the person. Same thing that since Krishna is the Supreme Lord, He is the seed giving Father. If we surrender to Krishna, then He happily will come and take care. And that is the mood of surrender also. We have to just think that we have to come to the conviction that Krishna is going to take care of me. And He is my master. There is no one else who can take care of me. And in that mood, if we fully surrender and also be humble, then we'll be able to make progress very quickly. And it's not, we don't have to worry about all the other yoga processes because they are long processes. They require a lot of effort, but surrendering will not require any effort. And um, yeah. And now Krishna is telling what is the importance of this Bhagavad Gita also. Can someone read one paragraph?
The one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. At the end, and at the end, he will come back to me.
Yeah, thank you. Next.
There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear.
Yeah, thank you. Next.
And I declare that he who studies that conversation of ours, worships me by his intellect, and who one listens with fault and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attends to the apicious planet where the polar did
Jai, Hare Krishna. Very nice. So, what is
Thank you.
Krishna's? What is Krishna saying? That if someone shares this Bhagavad Gita, this supreme secret knowledge, to the devotees, then for them, they have the opportunity to reach that Ananya Bhakti stage. Pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, they will go back to Krishna only. So then, Krishna, initially people will get doubt. There are so many people who are teaching Bhagavad Gita to even people we are not there, we are not devotees yet. You don't have to, that is not the case. There are essentially, if you are not against the religion, then you are actually, there is bhakti in everyone's heart. It is covered by our material desires. There is love for Supreme Lord. Every one of us have love within ourselves because we all are the spirit souls. And the natural constitutional position of the spirit soul is to always be in relationship with the Supreme Lord in loving condition. Since we came to this material world, our love became dormant, and we have been covered by all the lust. Lust means material desires. And unless the lust is so strong that we are averse to any devotional activities, then there will be non-devotees. But in general, if we are neutral or even if we have some propensity of accepting the message of the Supreme Lord, then yes, we should preach the message to them, and we should, that will give us benefit and it will give them benefit also. And whoever is teaching that, Krishna is saying there is no one who is more dear to him than before, and there will not be anyone uh, later who will be more dear to them. So reading Bhagavad Gita is good. Studying Bhagavad Gita is even better, and preaching Bhagavad Gita is the best because preaching will make us also understand these concepts even more deeper because we have to understand ourselves in order to be able to preach, and that will also be gradually applying. Um, and whoever studies the sacred conversation automatically is worships them with intelligence. But what is the two conditions there Krishna is giving? They should have again that Shraddha, faith, and no envy. And envy is the one that has brought us here, and it will keep us away from Krishna. As long as we have the envy that why I cannot be the Supreme Lord, why I cannot reach the same level as the Lord, uh, the moment that thought has to be taken away. We should think that we are subordinates. So it might appear that when we say servant or service, it will have a bad connotation in this material world because you take anything in this material world, if we are serving someone, it only is taking an effort from us and most likely will not give us results because how much ever we serve, the person we are serving is not satisfied. Whether it is our boss in the office, how much effort we put, they will have some complaints. Even if our family members, how much we strive hard, they will have complaints. Oh, this curry did not have salt, or yeah, you take care of the kids this Saturday, or you drive, I drive, like all those things. No, like nobody will get satisfied in this material. That's why when we say service, we have the connotation why I have to serve again. I have serving my family, I am serving my job, I am serving my business, I'm serving the customers. Again, I have to serve God. No, like no, but that service is different. This service is different. When we engage in the service of the Supreme Lord, He will Yoga Kshema Mahamyam. He will take care of all our other services, and then He will also reciprocate with love. That is the secret. And we should not be envious because if we automatically if we think that we are not the subordinates of the Supreme Lord or we are the lords by ourselves, we kind of have envy, which doesn't make us understand these concepts very easily. And we also have to have faith in the process. Then we will achieve the auspicious planet and where the pious dwell. Kachit etat shrutam partha
Kachit
Kachit
etam
etam
shrutam
Sutam
partha
Partha
tvayaiకాగ్రేణ చేతసా
Tvayaipagrena Chetasa
कच्चिद् अज्ञानसम्मोहं
Kachit
Kachidajnana
sammoham
Samoham
प्रणस्तस्ते धनञ्जय.
Pranastaste Dhananjaya.
Can someone read the translation?
Son of Buddha, O conqueror wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are you ignorance and illusions now dispelled?
Jai, thank you. So what Krishna is asking Arjuna is, have you heard all this with attentive mind? I hope like every one of us like have heard this with attentive mind, because it is very important and we have to keep recollecting that again and again. Otherwise, this will quickly forget this. And is your ignorance and illusion now dispelled? All the six questions that Arjuna had, and the illusions that he had, all those all dispelled. Krishna is asking, and again we have to understand this same thing. There is no force in what Krishna says. It is completely our free will. Krishna is giving the same thing, mm, like the same thing with Krishna. Let's see, it will come in the next verse. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna
Arjuna Vacha
Nastamoha Labda
Nastu
Nasto
Nastamoha
Moha Smritir
Smritilabdha
Labdha
Tvat Prasadan Maya Achyuta
Tat Prasadan
Tatprasadam
Maya
Maya
Achyuta
Achyuta
Sitos Stitosmi Gata Sandehaha
Stitosmi
Stitosmi
Gata
Gata
Sandehaha
Sandehaha
Karishe Vachanam Tava.
Karishe Vachanam Tava.
Translation, you know.
Arjuna said,
Rishik. Okay.
Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions.
See, this is where it shows that Arjuna is not whimsical in asking his questions. He is very serious. When all his questions got answered, he immediately surrenders and accepts what Krishna is saying. Krishna gave the free will. He's saying, Arjuna, you decide what to do. Now I'm not going to force you. But Arjuna, having all his questions clarified, he surrenders and takes the process. If we are convinced that yes, Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is saying is helpful, is going to be helpful for me. If that conviction came, we should control our mind. We should bend our mind and tell that, then let me take a Bhagavad Gita and apply, understand more, and apply the principles. If we still have doubts, then that's fine. Like we can ask those questions again when we come across anybody else like preaching Bhagavad Gita again. But all those doubts should be clarified. Once we clarified, we have to surrender to Krishna. If we should take up the Bhagavad Gita more seriously. And then Sanjaya is concluding. Remember, it started off with Sanjaya telling Dhritarashtra what happened. Now he is saying the same, like closing out this Bhagavad Gita with his words. Sanjaya Vacha
Sanjaya Vacha
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno
Yatra
Yatra
Yogeshwara
Yogeshwara
Krishno
Sato
Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha
Yatra Pardho Dhanuttaraha
Krishno
Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir
Tatra Srir Vijayo Bhutir
Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama.
Dhruva
Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama.
Mama.
Anyone wants to read the translation? The last verse in Bhagavad Gita? Or we can all read together. Wherever there is Krishna,
Wherever there
Wherever
is
there is
Krishna,
Krishna,
the master of all mystics,
the
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 master
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 of
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 all
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 mystics,
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 and wherever there is Arjuna,
and
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 wherever
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 there
there
is
is
there is
Arjuna,
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 the supreme archer,
the
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 supreme
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 archer,
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 there will also
there
there
will
will
there
there
will
will
also
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 certainly be
certainly
certainly
be
be
opulence,
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 victory,
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 extraordinary power,
extraordinary
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 power,
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 and morality.
and
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 moral.
morality.
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 That is my opinion.
That
That
is
is
That
my
my
is my
opinion.
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 So, whether we are taking Krishna consciousness seriously, we are going to take it seriously or not, what Sanjay is saying is just put this picture wherever you want victory. Wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, Dhanurdhara, Dhara, then there will be what there will be. Shrir means opulence. Vijaya means victory. Bhutir means extraordinary power. And Niti means morality. So these these four things will always be there whenever we bring Krishna and Arjuna into our life. Which means if we bring Bhagavad Gita, if we apply Bhagavad Gita into our life, we will become opulent, we will become victorious, we will have extraordinary power, and our life will be fully moral. Morality, you don't have to stress, am I being moral or not? It automatically becomes completely moral. So again, going back to the holy name, this holy name, um, Kalikale Namarupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna takes different avatars, but in Kali Yuga he took the avatar of the holy name itself. So that's why by chanting the holy name or associating with Krishna, there is no difference. We might ask, Krishna was there to help Arjuna in Dwapara Yuga. How I can get guidance? Yes, you can also read Bhagavad Gita, or if you um, like somebody, if they are not educated or it's very difficult to grab concepts from the literature, they can associate with Krishna directly by chanting his holy name. If we chant with Krishna, then we are associating with Krishna. The more and more we chant, the more association Krishna gives, the more pure we become, the more our material desires will get eradicated, and then we will quickly go back home, back to Godhead. So let's see another glory of importance of the chanting of the holy name. The importance of anyone wants to read?
The importance of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is very strongly stressed in the second canto, first chapter, verse 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the following way. Shukadeva Goswami tells Maharaja Parikshit, my dear king, if one is spontaneously attached to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is to be understood that he has attained the highest perfectional stage.
Jai, thank you, Mataji. So if someone is attached to the holy name, then it has to be understood that they have attained the highest perfectional stage in that lifetime, because there is nothing more to achieve. And if they all have to do chanting, and that by the end of that life, Krishna is there. And we might think that, okay, we might be scared. Okay, if I start chanting, that question might come out of scare, or sometimes out of inquisitiveness, or sometimes out of doubt also. They will say that, oh, Prabhuji, if I start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what if I become perfect and Krishna takes me away? Krishna knows all our deep desires. We don't have to tell specifically to him. He knows that we are a family person. We have so many responsibilities. So when we start chanting, he will know what our desires are. He will not come and right away take to us. Of course, if we are so much detached from our family and don't have any all the attachments to our kids or parents or other spouse, anyone, then if we sincerely call Krishna once by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra loudly, he will take us back. That's for sure. But since we don't have those detachment yet, Krishna will wait, and then until all our attachments are done, he will wait. But if there is our attachments are not done even at the end of the life, we have seen so many examples that Krishna will still come and take us, because we spent our entire life chanting the holy name, and Krishna will because we spent so much time associating with the Supreme Lord, and that means that we are already in the perfectional stage. And if we are already in the perfectional stage, if we leave the body, we don't have to come back to the non-perfect stage again. So please order the Bhagavad Gita books and the Japamalas and any small books if you cannot or not able to read the big books. The small books, Prabhupada takes the important topics from the scriptures and explains in a very easy to read language. You can all read this. Any questions before we close today's session?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Actually, actually, two questions, Prabhuji. First question is actually I mean, the starting part I missed, but actually, the question that Krishna Arjuna asked, the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. So I'm not sure what exactly was that part. If you can tell that part, actually, there is more significance to that question, actually. If you can tell me, I will elaborate after whatever you tell, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So that's what I said, briefly touched it. Arjuna is asking what is renunciation, and basically the context is what is the difference between renunciation and means sannyasa and tyaga. And Krishna is saying, in his opinion, nobody can really be in this world. Same thing that he said in chapter 2 and 3, that nobody can like stay in this world without doing any activity. It is tyaga that is important, because you have to do the work, but you should not get attached to the results. You should sacrifice the results. You should not sacrifice the work. And renunciation means, of course, if it goes back, if the renunciation is real, renunciation is in the mode of goodness, which is not attached to the results, which comes back to Tyaga also, that is real renunciation. But if we artificially renounce, but we are still attached to our family or the work that we are doing or the results that we have, that is not real renunciation. So renunciation in the mode of goodness is no different from Tyaga, because it is the renunciation of the results that Krishna is recommending. You have to work and do it as a matter of duty, but don't get attached to the results.
Okay. Yeah, because actually, like if you look at the word sannyasa, like you have a lot of sannyasis who have given up all the works every day. That is a two actually. So, giving up all the works sannyasa, and but you do the work, but actually when you do the work, you get the results of the action. So that results of the action, you are actually renouncing the fruits of that action. That is the tyaga. So actually, there's the difference, because there's the difference between these two is because the ordinary person cannot really take directly to sannyasa. We like
Yes.
us, we have to do, because we are bound to do karma. Because we are still not in the stage where we can go directly to sannyasa. So, because why there is a this is in the 11th sloka in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, "Nahi deha brita shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshatah yastu karma phalatyagi satyagi tyabhidhiyate." He says that verily it is not possible for an embodied being to abandon actions completely. Sorry, not this one. And he who abandons is verily said to be an abandoner. Okay, no, not this one. Sorry. Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividham karma phalam bhaktya tyaginam pretya natu sannyasinam kvachita. So every work is the mishta like mishra phala. It is like it is a mixture of evil, good, all this. That is what will accrue to the person who has actually not abandoned, but he who has abandoned action, nothing like no the fruits of actions will not touch the person who has abandoned action. So that's the difference. I just wanted to say that between the sannyasa and tyaga, the and actually why, and also because why it is important is because in the beginning, hello.
Yes. So meanwhile, yeah, thank you, Maitri Mataji, for your message. Yeah, it's all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Great, glad to hear that you like the course.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for all your time and
No,
really
Mataji, yeah, it's
you really immerse. Your preaching is excellent, Prabhuji. We can hear you
no,
so
no,
many
that's
times.
okay. No
Yeah.
worries. Don't. It's all glories to Srila Prabhupada. But yeah, I only wished, or I hope that you all take this. I know Maitri Mataji, you are also taking it. Naveen Prabhuji, I will come to you. Just give me 1 minute. So, and
Okay, sure.
yeah. So please, I request everyone to take this seriously. Don't stop it here, because we get this human life, very rarely, and we got this opportunity. Let's not waste it anymore. Um, so again, this is what I did, right? I read Bhagavad Gita, and then one thing we are fully convinced, especially being born if we are born in Sanatana Dharma already, is that the soul doesn't die. That concept is imbibed in us. We take one body to another. That when we die, the soul again takes another body. And Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman, like Bahunam Janmanam Te Gnanam Prapadyate. So we know that there is another life for us. This life is not all in all. It is the Western concept or other religious concepts that says you have only one life. Once you lose this life, there is no hope. You will be forever in the grave waiting for Judgment Day or whatever those other stuff they say. But we know for sure that we have seen so many examples also where our elders where share some stories where within the family itself they can see that it is the person that was there before. They do exactly the same things. And there is a scientist in the world, like he did a lot of experimentation and research, and he had around 130 cases or something. At least many of them were genuine cases that proves reincarnation. So the soul always wants activity. It doesn't want to sit idle in one place. And if we know that there is this life after life, we also know that what Krishna is saying, so many lives we have spent. Why don't I take this opportunity? Krishna gave this opportunity for us to come closer to Bhagavad Gita. Why don't I just give this life to Krishna and see what happens? You can ask that question yourself. So many lives I have spent, and for sure there is going to be one more life. But I don't know if I'll get there is guarantee that I will again come to Krishna consciousness in the next life. Forget about next life. In this life, I got the opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita. 1 year, 2 years down the line, what happens? Will I be able to get chance to read Bhagavad Gita? Who knows? It might be like a rare opportunity that I got. So now I got that. Let me use this life. This one life, let me dedicate to Krishna. If it is successful, then I'll be back home, back to Godhead. If it is not, swalpam api yasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. Even a little service that we do will save us from the greatest danger, and it will be only taking us forward from that point from the next life. It is all a win-win situation, actually, if you think about it. There is nothing to lose. Because what we are saying is, do avoid only this four things that Kali is residing in, which is no intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit relationships. Why are they so like going to be problematic? No, right? Because no intoxication means we are always sober. We don't have to spend thousands of dollars on liquor. That's one of a very expensive thing. No gambling. We don't have to risk our money and losing in the casino. The casinos always win. How people, it's a misconception that you go and make millionaires. There is one or two people, casinos will sometimes make their rules lenient so that some people will win and then they become news and attracts 1,000 other people. The other 999 people will lose. No intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating. So, yeah, people might think that, oh, Prabhuji, if we don't eat meat, how can I get the vitamins, proteins, and all? Yes, that is true. In Kali Yuga, the quality of the food has degraded. The vegetables are not giving the same amount of vitamins. But because you're eating meat doesn't mean it is getting through the animal. The animals are pumped with so many, or injected with so many vitamins, those hormones and all, because the animals are eating the vitamins and artificially those vitamins are coming through the meat. But instead of that, the indirect process, eat the vegetables, take the multivitamins. Why cause suffering to that thing? Or take some and really if unless someone is bodybuilding, nobody really needs that much protein also. So meat eating, but still that's a long term. We'll keep it aside. And finally, no illicit relationships. We have a family. Our kids are dependent on us. Why do we have to think about other relationships? Why? Like it's not required. So these four things that we are recommending are going to make our life more and more happy, actually, whether we surrender to Krishna or not. And if we surrender to Krishna, this is the last life that he guaranteed. Sarva dharman paricham, sarva papa vyo moksha ishyami. He will remove all papas and he will give moksha. So we have to just, before we going to sleep, today is Ekadashi also, just think Krishna in the mind and say that, Krishna, for whatever reason you brought me to Bhagavad Gita class, I am able to go through these classes. And of course, it should, our desire should be there because ultimately we are not the doer. So we request Krishna, Krishna, you know my current situation, but I have the desire to take this forward. I don't want to stop it here. Please, please, please take me forward in this path. If you have the desire, Krishna will take you forward in that path. Okay, so I would request everyone to say the prayer tonight and request Krishna that you go forward in the path of Krishna consciousness or Bhagavad Gita and the yoga processes, whichever you feel attracted to, and Krishna will take you forward. And yeah, Naveen Prabhuji, to your question, yes, even when somebody takes the sannyasa, real sannyasa is they have to work for the upliftment of the society. So they are also not really renouncing work. Work is done by sannyasis also. So the people who artificially, like the sannyasa that Krishna is saying we should avoid is that we should the renunciation in the mode of passion and ignorance, which we read, right? Which is somebody faces an obstacle and they stop the work. That kind of sannyasa is not recommended. Somebody think that this is very difficult to do and then they will renounce the work. So that should be avoided. But sannyasa in the renunciation in the mode of goodness is recommended, which is even they also do the work, but they will not expect any results. And in that case, tyaga is basically um, the recommended approach.
Okay, Prabhuji. And also that Sarvadharman Parityajya, Mameka Sharanam Braja, Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Masucha. That one you said, like, abandon all varieties of religion. So actually, like, if you, and you were also told about the dharma. So actually, when you talk about dharma, actually there are like like Sanatan Dharma, Samanya Dharma, and Vishesha Dharma. So all the, like what you are supposed to do, because see, if you give up, let's say you're saying give up karma yoga or or karma or gnana kanda, no, like in the sense nothing, like you won't accrue any sin, like there's no as accrual of the sin. But but if you hear actually the dharma, sarva dharma parityajya means in the sense, like all these dharmas that you're doing, so no one can do 100%. So I am your biggest dharma. So you give up the dharma, you give up all this dharma and adharma to me. So whatever, so from giving up the dharma, you will definitely accrue some sin. So that he's saying he will actually like he will actually liberate you from that sin, or he will give you moksha from that sin,
No,
from
so
sarvata.
dharma
So
is like in the simplest terms, there are so many dharmas, but if you bubble them up, there is essentially two dharmas. One is the Sanatan Dharma, one is the Swadharma. Any dharma that is done on the bodily platform is the Swadharma because we are born in a family, whether it is a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, we have to take care of that. And since the Vedic scriptures recommends Varnashram Dharma, we have to
yes.
take the different ashramas, which is Brahmacharya, Kshatriya, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, and those all come under the Swadharma only. But Sanatan Dharma is the one that we do for on the platform of the soul. And we can align all Swadharma into Sanatan Dharma by bringing yoga process into it. So what Krishna is saying is there are so many, you can abandon Swadharma, that is easy to understand. And if you abandon Swadharma without any activities, yes, that will bring some sinful reactions. And if we abandon the yoga processes, it doesn't going to give us any sinful reactions. It will just keep us in the same platform as is, because yoga will take us further to Krishna consciousness, whether it is the Jnana yoga or Dhyana yoga or all. What essentially Krishna is saying is, irrespective of whether it is Sanatan Dharma or Swadharma, if you do surrender onto me, I will take care. Means I am going to take care of your life, and at that point onwards, it's Krishna's dharma, which is everything is under the supervision of Krishna only.
Okay, yeah, that's what that is, like giving up the dharmas is not, is actually giving up the actually, like I mean, giving up
All
whatever
occupational duties.
sins you accrue, he will save you from that. Actually, other way of actually is giving up the katrutva and bhoktrutva, giving up the sense of agency of that you are the doer, and bhoktrutva that you are the enjoyer. So you do everything, but you give up all these things so that I mean, yeah, you will, because yeah, whatever
And
sins that accrue will be saved from that.
and the problem with doing the yoga process, other yoga processes which are not full surrender to Krishna is basically yeah. So other processes is that if you do the yoga processes, there is a chance that our motivations will fall under passion or ignorance. Maya will test us, and if we think that, oh, I am the doer at one penny of point of time, or we get attached to some result, because Vishwamitra is a great example. He meditated for. He's a one of the greatest mystics. He is so much powerful. He acquired so many powers, but he at one weak moment he got attracted to Mayanka, and they had Shakuntala as the daughter. So, but if you take a devotee like Haridas Thakur from the Chaitanya Leela, he was a Muslim by birth, but he immediately surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and started chanting. And the his relatives was the ruler, not a ruler, but a person that is taking care of the particular society, that village or that group of villages. And he sends a prostitute, very beautiful person who everybody is in the society is seeking after her, to Haridas Thakur. And what he does, uh, he says, she goes and I want to have your association. He says, I'm doing chanting, wait for some time, I will come. And he keeps on chanting. And next day happens, he was chanting. And finally she understands how sincere he is. And she basically surrenders onto him, and she becomes a devotee. There is a temple for her also in North India, that such a low born person also, when I say low born, because of the activities that she did, she also became a pure devotee, and because of blessings from another pure devotee. So what essentially I'm saying is, even the other yoga processes might be yes, taking us gradually there, but they're very much prone. And Krishna himself says, these dhyana yoga that you are trying to do, Arjuna, is very troublesome, and there is any chance of fall down. But when we give our control of our life to Krishna, Krishna is infallible. Means there is no chance of falling down. It is the living entities that are minute in nature that can come under the control of Maya, but Krishna will not come under the control of Maya. So that's why our life will always be secure. Okay, any other questions from anyone? If not, we'll say Hare Krishna Mahamantra once, 3 times. And yeah, I hope you all continue taking this further. And if you are continuing this, maybe when I come to New Jersey, we can also meet in person, and take care, everyone. So we'll say Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times and close today's session. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
I forgot one thing. Give me 1 minute. Sorry. So we have the Gita Yagna. Gopikanta Prabhuji announced this yesterday. I'll share this flyer in the WhatsApp group. It is this Sunday at 10 a.m. in Ved Mandir in Milltown. You can all maybe I will send this, but it has the address. Please try to go there, where the whole recitation of all Bhagavad Gita verses is going to happen. And then if you want to sponsor a chapter, you can go to this website also. Okay, more details to come in the WhatsApp message. Please look out for it. Again,
What
thank you. What's
up to like 10 o'clock? By what time it will end, Prabhuji?
So generally it takes 4 to 5 hours. If it is a little slow, it takes 6 hours. So
Oh,
10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or something, or 3 o'clock maybe.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you all again. And it's not only a benefit for you, it's a benefit for me also, because the more we discuss about Bhagavad Gita, it's both. So don't think I'm telling you and you're telling it, taking it from me. It is Krishna. We are putting Krishna in the center. I am glorifying Krishna. You are listening about the glories of Krishna. So both of us are rendering devotional service. So it's a benefit for both of us. And I want to thank you all for giving me that opportunity. Please take care. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
So much,
thank you very
Prabhuji.
much,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank
Krishna,
you.
Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank
Hare
you. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.